Hey guys, it's Othania here with Create Your Future. So today I want to deep dive into manifesting specific person. I know you probably can hear my voice a little bit. I'm just getting over a little cold, okay? But I want to get into deep diving about manifesting peace because in my own experience and now my experience as a coach, I see that, oh, that's my alarm. I see that manifesting a specific person tends to be something that comes off a little more harder, that comes off a little more difficult. Um, and I want to help you be able to kind of break that barrier, I guess I can say. So let's let's backtrack. When when your person came into your life, let's backtrack and figure out who you were being at that time. Because that's going to tell you a lot. 9 times out of 10, when you first came across this person, you were in your own world. You were not thinking probably about them specifically. Um, you probably were thinking about wanting to be in a relationship, but you weren't that stressed out about it. You were pretty much reaching a point where you were starting to get familiar with a sense of a happy independence, right? Let's put it like that. And then you came across this person who you found attractive and you see yourself wanting to experience them and, get to know them better and, or be with them. Then now that the attraction is building and now your feelings are like brewing inside for this person, now you're starting to create stories where you feel like you may lose them, and your fear about losing this person is exactly what is causing you to lose them. Your person can only show you what's going on within you. So if there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of turmoil, then by default your person is going to have to reflect something of that sort. See, the thing is, a lot of the time we don't know that when we have these fearful thoughts about our person, right? And we think like, okay, this is just within me. This person doesn't know what I'm feeling. That is totally wrong, because what is happening is that your feelings are activating their next actions. So basically, what you're feeling inside about this person is that feeling is going to mirror back to you through them. And the way that you get there, the way that you get from feeling confident and good about yourself and then to the feeling of feeling like where you lost yourself, you get there because the moment you start thinking fearful, that's you putting that person on a pedestal. The more you start thinking fearful that I'm going to lose this person, or does this person really, see, now you just minus 10 of your value. And every time you question, it's like another minus 10, another minus 10, to the point where you don't even have anything in you anymore. You're at zero. And that's where you feel the drain. That's where you start spiraling, because you have put on that person that your own vessel, you can't survive without them. So then what do you think is going to happen? You're going to live a reality where you feel like you cannot survive without them. So the thing about specific people, This is what I told one of my clients the other day. You want to treat your person like a friend and not like a lover you're afraid to lose. You want to treat your person like a friend that you're not really pressed if they don't text you back right away. You're not really pressed if they don't do certain things. You're not really pressed if they're like, okay, let's cancel today and let's schedule another date another time. Because if you had your friend that some people get, fearful with their friends too, but not as much as it is with a romantic partner. You want to treat your romantic partner like you're not afraid to lose them. Because once you start treating them like you're afraid to lose them, that's automatically putting them on a pedestal. Automatically. And you have to snap out of that if you want to have more favorable circumstances with the people that you want to see yourself in romantic relationships with. The always trying to see what they're up to, always prying, always putting yourself in this anxious embodiment is not going to give you the successful relationship you want because you are not the successful you. That's not to say that you can never feel anxious about anything, but you don't want to consistently be anxious over the same thing because what that's going to do to your body after a long period of time is going to be deeper, just deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Because those anxious feelings, they spike when it's continuously happening. They spike your cortisol levels, they spike your stress levels. That plays a part, you know? So you want to just do things that's not putting your body in that type of predicament where you have to be anxious. You don't want to do that because that version of you is not the version of you that is confident enough to sustain that actual relationship that you want to have. The more that you are chasing behind your person, the more that they are running from you. The more that you are thinking of unfavorable things, the more that you are just not in the proper embodiment. So you are the one that's going to have to snap yourself out of that. You don't want to get so excited that you keep treating this person like some type of celebrity. At some point, you got to neutralize that and see yourself on the same level as them. Because if you're seeing yourself down here, you checking their social media constantly, by you questioning, you are the one that's putting yourself down here, not them. You are doing that with your action, with your embodiment, because you're doing that coming out of lack from within you. So you're taking those actions and you're putting yourself lower than them. Now, to put yourself equal, you got to stop doing that. You got to stop using your time in your day to focus on what that person is doing. And you have to intentionally, consciously get yourself to focus on yourself. That's the problem when it comes to people and their specific person. You treat that person like you're scared to lose them, which is why you lose them. That is not the way to have a successful relationship. A lot of the people I used to date, I would do that. I would treat them like I was afraid to lose them. And I was lessening my own value by doing that because now I see things totally differently. I learn my position as a valuable one, and I also learn my position as a woman. And I don't do certain things that I used to do before. So I get different results because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. So when it comes to your specific person, you have to see yourself as extremely special and special enough that you're not going to continue to put yourself through an obstacle course to get them. You want to be magnetic. You really want to finally be that person that's magnetic. Stop it. Stop it. And stop it. Because as long as you're taking those actions, the reflection is not going to give you what you think. See, what we do is we think that the more we show emotions, the more we try to go after that person and show them that we care, the more that's all coming from lack. The old self thinks that me being this way is going to make you feel sorry for me, and it's going to make you want to be with me, because now that you feel sorry for me, you feel like you got to do the right thing, and that's going to make you be better towards me. No, because if they're your reflection and that's how you're feeling, what do you think they're going to do? Give you the jolly responses? You're not even being jolly yourself. You're being fearful and you're being super anxious. So how do you think your SP is going to be? They cannot reflect jolliness, confidence, commitment to you, and you're like that. That's not a reflection. They are your reflection. So in order for you to get the best version of that person, you have to be the best version of yourself. So I can't stress it enough that yes, you can want your person, of course. Right? How do people get in relationships? They obviously have the desire for that person. But what the difference is the stories in your mind that you're saying about that person, right? You want to always see yourself with your person. Every time you see your person with somebody else, what you think is going to happen? And then you're sitting there wondering why they continuously with that person. And you continuously search their pages, perpetuating what you don't want to see. But you're taking actions out of fear. You're taking actions where you're constantly looking and seeing, which is telling your subconscious, you don't want this thing around you, but you still want to pay attention to it. So that's why you would take actions out of fear, and it will show you what you don't want to see. But really, you do want to see it because you keep thinking about it. But you got to stop making that person like your source of happiness, because you're never, ever, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get it that way. Because if you are thinking that someone else is going to be your source of happiness, that means you have already been drained. And the person that is completely drained, that feels drained, that is spiraling out of control, is not a person that's ready to sustain the happy, loving relationship. It's two complete opposites. Two complete opposites. And I see the difference in my life with my relationships. 10 times better. Like, I can't even, just 10 times better. And that's because I'm 10 times better. So my reflection would show that. When I was being anxious and feeling like, my people would leave me for anyone and not choose me, that's exactly what they did, because they had to reflect me. It doesn't matter about your body, what you're doing, or if your hair is always constantly done, if your makeup is always done. That is great for you to feel good, of course, yes, because you got to do whatever it is for you to feel good. But if you have all of that on and inside you're still not feeling chosen, the outside is not going to matter. The inside is going to override that, and that's what the world is going to reflect back to you. Not what you put on out here. It's going to reflect back to you what you're really thinking in here, and what you're thinking in here was really going on in here. That's it. It's better, yes, if you have everything within you, thinking how you want it to be, and on the outside, you're physically put together as well. That's like inside and out. Perfect. Perfect alignment. But you have to make sure at all times that you are not feeling down because someone's not talking to you. You have to stop putting so much pressure on a text message and a phone call, because that's automatically going to come when you're aligned within yourself, when you already know that you're going to have a great relationship with this person. Those calls and those texts are automatically going to come. So you don't have to sit here stressing yourself out about it. And the fact that you are sitting there stressing yourself out about it is the reason why it's not coming in. So you have to find ways to be like, okay, how do I get back to myself? How do I get out of this stress? Talk to yourself. Instead of trying to always talk about them, see what they're doing. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. See where you're at. See what you're doing. Be aware of yourself. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself that you're tired of doing this. Tell yourself that you're tired of being this way. And you will see with time that you will start naturally taking actions that'll pull you out of that feeling of desperation and anxiety. But first, you have to talk to yourself and talk yourself out of it because you keep talking yourself into it. You keep talking about what's going wrong with your friends. You keep checking their pages. You keep ruminating on what went wrong in the past. You just keep thinking about what's wrong. We have to flip that because when you are in a happy relationship with them, you're not thinking about what's wrong. You're thinking about how you're happy all the time for the most part. Not to say it will always be perfect, but dominantly, you're going to be happy to be with your person. You're going to have great things to say about them. You're going to do great things together with each other. And that's what you want to replicate because the past is already gone. 1 second went away, went past, that past is already gone. Another second went by again, the past is already gone. And every time you think a new story, you got to also understand your past and your future is shifting based on whatever you're thinking now. So when it comes to your person, you must find a way to make yourself more important. Because as long as you don't, the reflection is going to show you that you're not important, whether it's with them or and with anything else. Because a lot of the times when things is getting really, really bad in your love life, and you start spiraling, it can trickle into other things. So you just got to make sure that you're good enough. You got to make sure that you're good enough. If you're still feeling like you need someone to talk to you, you need someone's attention, you don't feel good enough about yourself yet. And you got to start making that your goal more than that, more than trying to get that person's attention. Because once you put it like this, every time you take action to try to see what the other person is doing, you're lowering your own battery. How can someone, magnetize to you and plug into you if your battery's not charged? So you're expecting someone to plug into you and, join experiences, and they can't. You don't even have a charged battery enough for it. You're at 10%. Phone's going to die any minute. So you have to make sure that you're charged and you're feeling good. You're feeling good within yourself. You're starting to get more favorable thoughts about yourself and relationships. You're starting to have more favorable thoughts about that person. You're starting to have more favorable thoughts about you guys together. And you're starting to have more favorable thoughts about love in general. You have to pull yourself out of the quicksand of looking for reasons that your person doesn't love you, because that story will never change if you don't. The story changed in the first place because you started getting fearful, and now you just have to get yourself back out of that. And when you feel yourself not feeling like you have to wake up out of your sleep and check their social media and see what they're doing, when you stop doing things like that and you lose the urge to do things like that, number one, you're shifting. And number two, you're going to see evidence of the better shift. But you cannot see it if you're constantly looking for it, because that is you constantly still looking for something out of the state of lack. And you can't lie to the mirror. The reflection is instant. You can't lie to the mirror. Like if you're trying to I'm putting up like, if I'm holding up 5 fingers to the mirror's going to show me 5 fingers, right? If I try to like make it 4, it's going to show me 4. Everything that I'm doing in an instant is showing me right back. And that's how you have to look at life. Everything that you're doing out of fear is going to show you that right back. So you nip it in the bud. You cut it out. You tell yourself, okay, if I keep doing this, it's not going to give me the result I want. And sanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. you're not trusting yourself, and that's the problem. So if you're not trusting yourself, how do you expect your person that's outside of you to trust and want to be in this relationship with you? The reflection doesn't make sense. So take your focus off the reflection, because you're looking at the mirror, crying at the mirror, like, why aren't you changing? Why aren't you changing? And the mirror is just a mirror. It only reflects what you're doing to it. Don't worry in front of it. Right? So yes, your person is special. Yeah, we get it. But they're not that special enough to where you're losing yourself, and to where you're draining yourself. You have to stop that, because no one is going to want to commit to anyone that is allowing that to happen to themselves. You're allowing yourself to be drained. So you're just automatically going to attract people and situations to continue to make that a story for you until you change the story. So I intend that this has been a light bulb moment, even a little bit for most of you, for all of you, for you. And I intend that this has helped you get a better understanding some way about manifesting a specific person, because it really just takes you not doing all that anxious stuff. Like, it really does. Like, it is easier said than done. But once you really snap out of it and you really start getting back into the groove of who you are and being joyful without feeling like you need someone outside of you to make you feel good about yourself, you'll see the difference. But until then, you want to keep searching. You want to keep telling yourself unfavorable things. I mean, you know? So get yourself out of the spell of feeling like this person is what's going to make me happy. Because as long as you're thinking that, it's not going to happen in the best ways that you want it to happen. You want to make sure that you are feeling like a celebrity in your world. Getting excited when they call or text you has to stop. Like, you want to start making it feel normal, because every time you get excited, like, oh my God, text me, it's just like, okay, so when do you settle in the version of yourself that is already it's normal to be with them? You It's not normal for someone to be in a happy, loving, committed relationship and one person is acting like a fan all the time. That's not normal, which is why you're not getting the relationship you want yet. So affirm for yourself more than you affirm for that person, but make sure that what you're saying about that person is favorable and you let go of that old story. Every time you check their page, every time you do something to check, it's coming from the self that knows that they don't have it, and that self is never going to get it. So the best way to do is to find ways to stop cold turkey with whatever it is you're doing, and then things will shift. It's guaranteed it has to, because your world, whatever's going on in your world, is you. We each have our own worlds, and there's one big planet. So whatever is specifically going on in your world, it's stemming from you. And you fix that by putting yourself first and making the proper changes that the version of you that has that thing would do. So if you're living with your person every day, are you constantly checking their social media? If you know your person's loyal to you every day and they come home all the time, you're not checking their social media. If your person's loving and loyal to you every day, are you calling your friends complaining? So what are you doing? What do those days look like that you finally got your things? Let's vision that, and let's put our mind there and stay there. And let's cut out all that crap that we take actions from being anxious. Let's cut all that crap out. You can even write it down, like, what actions do I take when I'm anxious? And you see it, cut all that crap out. And you don't take those actions anymore. And then you'll start naturally shifting more and more and more. And every time you find yourself doing something negative you don't like, you can write it down, think about what you're doing, and just take steps to do something else that's more better, more favorable. Take steps from the person that if they had this thing, how would they act? What would they do? Because you're just choosing a character by the stories you're telling yourself in your mind. If you need any more help, or if you have any questions that you would like answered specifically, specifically about your circumstances, your situation, I am available for coaching. You can check out my link in the description box below. Also, Create Your Future has a free course. And yeah, commitment happens when there are real commitment happens when there are two whole people. So you want to make sure that you're just cultivating the best version of yourself. And when you do that, the person that you want is going to change and step up, or or someone else is going to come in and be exactly that. But it's just up to you if you want to choose that person or you want to go to the new person. But either way, to get the commitment from either one or from anyone, you have to learn how to think favorably for yourself, and you have to make that a thing. Like, that has to be your thing. If you find yourself thinking unfavorably, you talk to yourself, we're not thinking like that. This is what I'm going to think now. And you keep doing that process until you don't have to do it anymore. Just like when you learn a new language, you keep until you talk it, and it becomes, next thing you know, you're fluent, and you don't need to practice and study anymore. Okay, so I intend that this has helped you, and until next time, guys, see ya.